It's kind of hard for someone who works for a 35-year-old company who's probably worked longer than most of you guys have been alive to come up here and address you about big data. But I'm trying to set the tone for how SAS fits and how we want to give and take from the Hadoop community and how it represents such a beautiful thing for the future of computing, the future of analytic platforms, why Hadoop has legitimized so many things that we'd like to take advantage of as we process bigger and bigger data sets. So, you always start out your talk with a quote, and I couldn't find anybody who made a quote like this, so I just made one up. Nobody ever said this. At the end of the day, we're closer to the beginning of this big data revolution than we are to the end. It's such a fascinating part in the renaissance of all these new projects. New ideas are popping up all of the time. New projects, new ideas, new ways to solve problems that we had kind of written off 10 years ago in the relational database world of that problem solved. Let's just polish it and keep on polishing it and keep on polishing it. And the fantastic thing that's gone on is that people have relaxed a certain dimension of the problem and made huge progress on some other dimension, the scalability. Relax the constraint problem and make huge progress on some other dimension. But really, I do believe that we're not close to the end of this journey. We've got a lot of traffic coming off of our behavior on the web. We haven't yet got a lot of traffic coming off of our behavior on our mobile, on our phone. We use it for Facebook and we use it to check in on Foursquare. But just imagine in 5 years when we're using it to buy the coffee and to buy the newspaper and every little transaction that we do. We don't have a credit card any longer. We just use our phone, the NFC capabilities. There'll be so much more information about our patterns and about our behavior coming together. We're just at the start of the sensor network revolution. How many people signed up for the insurance program that rats on you if you're a bad driver? Right? That's a good thing if you're a safe driver. It's a great thing if you've got a teenager. You put this little bug in the car and the insurance rates are calibrated to how aggressive a driver are. That is a huge data stream that we're just now learning to process. So good old information about our behavior, whether it's good or bad, we're just learning how to tie all of these things together. 5 minutes, boy, how do you do a talk in 5 minutes? I was talking to Alistair when we started. He dreamed up this innovation quotient, and he talked about the radicalness of the idea multiplied by the number of people using it as the impact of some technology. So I'm going to try these two things to put my talk together. The two beautiful things about Hadoop, from my perspective as someone who's plumbed analytics to data for a really long time, is the first promise that Hadoop makes to me is that I will spread your data out over many servers and I'll keep it safe. So that's a good idea. I'll spread your data out over many servers and I'll keep it safe. But the other good idea that happened exactly at the same time is that I will facilitate this idea that you should send the work to the data. MapReduce at its heart is take an algorithm, specify it in such a way that you can push the algorithm to the piles of data. You don't no longer have to suck the piles of data into the algorithm. And it's very, very subtle, and not everybody's figured it out yet, but this idea that you break your work up, you push the algorithm out to the piles of data. MapReduce was brilliant. MapReduce isn't the only way to do that. These two things combined together are what excite us at SAS so much about the potential of Hadoop to impact analytics going forwards. We've had some fantastic successes of taking jobs that run for hours on a single computer, breaking them up and running them massively parallel. We've been able to throw more data into compute problems than we've ever, which was unthinkable before. Focus on the second half of that, the number of people using it. Is it a sign that the old school, established enterprise companies are showing up at a conference like this? How can we help with the number of people using it? All you pink guys, the Web 2.0 visionaries, the early adopters of this technology, I think have seen clearly that this is the way to go. Buy racks and racks and racks of cheap Intel boxes. You expect them to catch fire every now and then, but you program around it. You build into the software. Failure's going to happen. Deal with it. Just get over it. I think when the enterprise companies show up, that it's a clear sign that we're making this technology adaptable and approachable for the rest of us, for the meat of the adoption curve, if you will. This is probably my most embarrassing slide. I didn't really know whether the Gartner hype cycle was a copyrighted thing, so I presumed it must be, so I just drew one. And not very good at that. You know, where is the elephant on this? There's a danger that we're this first elephant here, that we're at the cliff of the trough of disillusionment. There's so many enterprise companies doing a proof of concept with Hadoop in their back room, in some part of their company. And we've got to be really careful that we don't fall so hard down that trough of disillusionment that we splat on the floor there and the idea doesn't survive forever. I think it's going to. I think that so many projects are going to be successful, come out the bottom of that classic hype cycle that Gartner is so cleverly popularized. And I'm very, very confident, and I kind of humiliated to follow Doug here, who invented the elephant. But I really do see the signs that we are going to make it past that, and we're off onto the other and more happier parts of the hype cycle. So our part of this is my one marketing slide, and I do apologize for that. But we've got to be ready for this victims of our own success problem. When we are so good at these technologies and we have so many problems that we've implemented successfully, you want to have a framework and a rationale for doing big data and big analytics problems. And our experience doing this at SAS for a long time can certainly help. So, 5 minutes. I really never thought that my high school motto would help me. I grew up in South Africa, so I'm doubly pleased that all of the projects are animals. Quite happy to welcome the impala to the zoo. SAS wants to be a useful member of the community. We think you want SAS on your clusters. We haven't been very vocal about our capabilities on Massively Parallel. We'd like to consider this sort of a coming out party. So hopefully you'll come and listen to us at the talk. We have one 11:30. No, it's actually at 11 o'clock. So if you come at 11:30, it'll be over. We have a booth, and that'll be open for a while. And, some of you might have questions how, some of you might have questions why. Thank you for listening.